we can just start it off, man. Hey, this is Empire Extreme hanging out with Stitch.
What is up? How's it going?
So how's the the tour just starting? How is it going so far?
It's good. This is day 5 of 8 in a row. The tour started on March 1st. It wraps down, and tomorrow's Virginia, and then we thankfully have 2 days off in Florida, so I can go fuck around at Universal Studios. Favorite thing to do. But yeah, it's just a 3-week tour. It's pretty much nonstop. Just day after day in a row. But yeah, tonight we're in Pennsylvania at the Racehorse Tavern. Yeah, tour's going great. We're out here with a band called Eternum. They're friends of ours. We've toured with them in the past and other bands that we're in, and it's been awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, talk to people who are, obviously who've known your band. People didn't realize that, you're over 20 years with Ventana. Like, talk about, just doing that, obviously your side projects and stuff like that, other projects you had, and then going back and going this year, spending all your energy and time into the band.
Right, so yeah, when Ventana was started, I was already in Mushroomhead, and I've always been more into industrial music. Obviously, my upbringing in the 90s, I was 13 when Portrait of an American Family came out from Marilyn Manson. I was 14 when Downward Spiral came out from Nine Inch Nails. That age is one of the most impressionable ages when you're listening to music, I feel. Yeah. And that shaped who I wanted to be. I wanted to be Marilyn Manson. I wanted to be Trent Reznor. I wanted to be KMFDM. I wanted to be, Nevek Ogre. I wanted to be fucking Al Jorgensen. Because they put on fantastic shows, as well as not just being, bland goth industrial music. Because I liked the metal aspect of it. So that band was formed out of the passion and the love for that side. Because in Mushroomhead, I contributed samples and layering and things like that. But most of my value in Mushroomhead was helping with the costuming, the set design, stage props. Just overall helper is the reason why I even got that gig. I had zero music ability. But then learning stuff from Mushroomhead, I found a way to then create with the Ventana a more industrial, thing that I liked and more of something that I wanted to do, but still make it, different. So that's what started the band, and then instantly was able to put the band on shows at Mushroomhead. It was easy. I was able to pivot that quickly. Yeah. Try to keep this short as possible, but fast forwarding through the years of every couple of years, all right, jump on tour at Mushroomhead, and it's awesome. But then the band sat dormant for years. It's cool, went on tour and sold merch, and people were like, yeah, fuck yeah, our Stitch of Ventana's awesome, and then nothing. You do nothing for 5 years, and those people forget. Those people move on. Those people get older. Maybe those people don't go to shows anymore. Maybe those people don't fucking go to your Facebook every day. They don't fucking know what you're doing. They assume you're not a band anymore. So I kept finding myself in the same problem of restarting every 5 years with Ventana, and never getting the momentum. So I made a promise to myself, now that I'm not in Mushroomhead and there is more time, that I would give this an honest to God shot. And it sucks that it took 22 years to get to that spot. Yeah. But the benefit and the thing I'm thankful for is that I do have a hardcore underground fan base that I know will always be rooted there. I just got to figure out how to pivot that to get new blood, new fans out to shows, and find a way to bring Ventana into more something that could be paid attention as a new band, not just that band's a bunch of old dudes, and having the theatrical show I feel helps with it being interesting and grabbing people's attention, stuff like that. So it's been a crazy 22 years of this being a band. And it's silly that now, after 22 years, it's hey, let's try to do this seriously now that we're in our 40s. It's fucking dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, as they talk about that too with the transition. Obviously now, before, the people who were fans of Ventana knew that you had 2 singers, and now it's just down to you. Talk about fronting the band and going out and doing, which I always was kind of in my opinion, I thought you should be a front man. You were always just not to say anything bad about any of the other guys in Mushroomhead, you were always kind of in my opinion, the central focus of that. I just love your look, going just the shit, like you said, the crazy shit that you did, running around with the stage light and the crowd and shit. I remember one time in Pittsburgh, you took my hat, put it on your thing, went on stage, played a song, and then came back around and gave me back the hat. Just talk about that, transitioning from sort of that guy that's sort of the background ish. I don't want to say background, but more to the front.
Right, and it's funny you put it that way because I was not, a huge musical contribution to Mushroomhead, but the visual aspect. My main background comes from haunted houses.
Yeah.
I started as a haunted house actor when I was like 14. From there, I learned how to do makeup. I had to learn how to do making skin out of paper towels and latex, and doing gore makeups and things like that. And having no background whatsoever, just trying to emulate what I see. Like, how do you slit throat? How do you do that? Blah, blah, blah. So I had that background before I joined Mushroomhead. I was already into wearing costumes and things like that. Sometimes you join a band and it's like, oh yeah, we're in this band and we also wear costumes, and someone's just forced to throw something on.
Yeah.
Me, I lived that world, so I feel that is why I was able to, with the help of like people like David Greathouse, the mask maker, and Jason Kisner, another mask maker of ours, I feel I was able to create a character that was, not to talk down on any other character, but that was strong.
Yeah.
And that got noticed. And it's just funny that I was like the least contributed member, but I became one of the most recognizable, or one of the most, you're my favorite because of the way you look and the dumb shit that you do, But I could do all that dumb shit because I was barely playing anything on stage. I'm firing samples and have wireless MIDI controllers, and then we started doing the water drums and the percussion shit, so it was like, that's all I did. I had nothing but time to go do fun stuff. And because I'm such a fan of pageantry and showmanship, and it's like, if you're a fan in the crowd and they're paying to see you, you're supposed to give them a show, right? Yeah. And all bands are, different, but I just come from that, loud pageantry angle.
Yeah.
I want it to be, visually cool because the music's mediocre.
Yeah.
So I got to make up for lack of musicianship by stupidity and cool costumes.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said,
Hey, you asked for this fucking interview.
I think you feel it like a little bit more. I mean, I love the in the Mushroomhead song. I can't remember, but it's like where it's like boom, 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 boom. Like just the crazy shit. Like I said, just that mask alone was just my with the intent, the wiring coming out and stuff like that. Like I said, no disrespect to any of the other guys in Mushroomhead. And it was just me visually. That was one of the ones that stuck out to me the most.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and for a while, I think it was like when we would auction off masks after tour, it's like between mine and Skinny's, they were like the ones that people were paying the most for. Like,
I always wanted to get that. I'm poor, so.
No, I get it. But
I always had affinity for
I cared.
Mr. F's.
Yeah.
I felt it had a cool shape.
Dr. F?
Dr. F,
yeah.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that was more like modeled after combination of, Dracula and a bat and, stuff like that. Because he's, again, Ryan, Dr. F, he's also another person with a lot of haunted house background and character acting and costumes and, stuff like that. But yeah, I care highly about the way my character looked. So I very much was hands-on with, I want it to be like this. I want it to look like this.
Yeah.
And the mask is, oddly enough, it's just a combination, the Stitch mask, of like a Cenobite from Hellraiser meets Baraka from Mortal Kombat, crossed with Nemesis from Resident Evil, and like an antlerfish. So like all of those things, and a little bit of Predator, just a hair of Predator, but like everything's inspired from something else.
Yeah.
And like Jason Kisner, when I came up with the more detailed version, would just do what I'm like, more of this, and reference photo, and like see how the brow is and the fucking this or blah 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 blah, like more like that, because I'm very detail oriented with characters. If you're gonna make a character, it's got to look real. You can't just look like, hey, I'm Bob in a mask. Hey, I'm Steve and I'm wearing this scary devil mask. Like, no, you need to look like blah. You need to be like the fucking dude. You got to sell it, or else don't wear masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't just look like some fucking dolt up there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, like I said, there are a lot of bands out there that do masks.
And they think it's just, we'll just throw on masks, and no, there's more to it. You have to fucking, like, really live and own that.
Exactly.
Or else you just look like a dolt.
Yeah. And then, talking about, obviously the Mushroomhead stuff, and now you're, getting out of that band, and then kind of sort of reuniting this with, with Waylon and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Killer Confession, and then the X Faces. Talk about, like, a little bit of that project.
So, like, Waylon and I hadn't talked for years because some things happen, and it's the past.
Yeah.
Some shit happened on tour, and we didn't get along for a long time. It was right around the time that his exit from the band had happened. And just as of 2 years ago, things are, we, talked and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, things are cool. I don't need to get into all the personal. Try not to get any personal,
exactly.
dirty laundry bullshit. I'll get misquoted. So
I'm not a dirt magazine anyway.
Yeah. I'm fucking in trouble already. And then it became, hey, do you want to help me do, because Waylon and I do all these vocals, because he records and he stacks in layers and this and answer tracks, and he's like, it's a lot of fucking vocals. I do my best Waylon impersonation. So he's like, oh, it'll help, break up that, or, and do samples and keys live. And I'm like, well, I'm not really doing shit. Sure, let's go. And it was like, going out with Static X and Guar. So that was like cool. I got to get dragged along on that tour, and it was fucking fun as shit. And then, it turned into J-Man doing the one song, Case of Emergency. And then it turned into the Horrifying Trip show, where it was a Killer's Confession. And then it was like me, Waylon, J-Man, Dan, doing a couple Mushroomhead songs.
Yeah.
And then it turned into an hour show with then Gravy and Joe, Mr. Murder Nickel.
Yep.
A full hour show in December at the Killer's Confession show. Then that turned into Clear Channel, Live Nation, like people like venues and people all over, promoters, like through the whole line of people that have booked Mushroomhead and things like that for the Killer's Confession and stuff like that for years. We want this. How do we get this? How the fuck did we get this? It was ridiculous. We had no idea that it was gonna blow up that crazy. It's like, well, it's just something fun to do, for Cleveland, and and select people we want to. And there was really no intention to do it again. I remember Waylon and I had a conversation, even with I think J-Man was even on or talked to Waylon. We all had the same agreement that, like, this isn't a thing. We're not gonna keep being just a couple of us doing,
something that you did in the
Mushroomhead,
past.
just doing Mushroomhead, a couple times a year. But once that one show happened, it kind of like started a fire that like was kind of like, it just became, it actually was uncontrollable. And then next thing I knew, there's a 6-week tour booked, going, it's ridiculous. So it's awesome. It's humbling. But overall, it's very positive that there's that many people out there that want to see those members on stage playing those songs.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be in any way, shape, or form disrespectful to Mushroomhead at all. It's not at all. Like, I try to, like, and it sucks because the internet's fucking lame, and we'll make a post that, oh yeah, we're playing a show, and then the comment thread just becomes
everybody's
a shit. It's a shit show.
Yeah.
So like half my day is spent like deleting ignorant comments and people talking shit. It's like, what comments I want to see? Things like thumbs up, awesome, can't wait to see the show, cool, this is great, hey, sweet, awesome. Instead, no, it's this toxic fucking like salad of like bullshit comments.
My comment was, God damn it, why can't Pig Business be on the tours you guys are coming around here?
Yeah, and that's a good comment though.
What I mean?
But it just became this whole like people trying to like make it look like it's a war between
the two.
Mushroomhead, or that it's not at all. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Does not that. No, please, by all means, please stop all that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then like
Mushroomhead's never gonna stop being Mushroomhead. No one's gonna stop that fucking train.
Yeah.
That is a fucking well-oiled fucking machine.
Yeah.
It's never gonna stop. This is just something fucking fun and stupid that we're doing. That people wanted to see, and all right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And we all get along, and it just kind of naturally happens. So it's to me, it's all positive.
Yeah, exactly. And then me and him, obviously, like I said, with the horror haunt, me and him have a Vampire and Devil podcast.
Yeah.
We do a horror podcast. Talk about your favorite horror movies growing up as a kid.
I mean, it's so hard, but like one of the most ones that sticks in my head, because I was so young, and my mom was a terrible mother, She let me watch horror movies when I was like, 5, 6. I mean, no, my mom was an amazing mother. I'm saying, anyone else's eyes.
I mean, like with the
oh my
horror
God,
part,
you let your kids watch that?
My mom took me to see Jaws 3.
I'm 6 watching American Werewolf in London. Freddy, my grandma took me to see fucking Elm Street fucking 3 in the theaters.
Another opportunity for your interview to get misconstrued.
Yeah.
Stitch hates his mother.
Yeah. Stitch hates his mother.
I
said he had a bad mother.
I went and seen The Fly when I was a kid. That's how it tells you my parents.
The Shining's always one of my all-time favorites because there's barely any there's no gore, there's no fucking monster, there's no like fucking thing. There's no CGI, there's no bullshit. It's minimal actors, it's minimalism. That movie is going to be scary 4,000 years from now.
Yeah.
When you watch that movie, and I don't get scared. I don't get scared when I watch movies. But when you watch it, it's like, this is a fucking well done movie. It's going to be ageless as to where these movies that come out that are like CGI fucking dumpster fires. It's aged in 5-10 years, and there's no story, there's no context. Like, that movie's like, one of the top,
exactly.
I would say. But I mean, I love all the basic, franchises, not to be generic. People are like, oh, what's your favorite movie? Oh, Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees. Like, yes, it's one of them.
I'm a Halloween guy,
but I try to go deeper in the genres of stuff. But I mean, growing up, like, even at, 10 years old, seeing Evil Dead, But then I became like huge fans of that kind of thing too, because the comedy horror angle.
Yep.
Like, I love that. I love breaking that fourth wall of horror and introducing the laughter. That's to me, that I think that's always the most brilliant thing of it. Yeah. Which, like, even in Ventana, trying to be all spooky, scary, but I'm on stage trying to crack jokes and fuck with people, and like I always also gravitated towards Freddy Krueger. Even though it's like, oh, Freddy, but it's like, I love Freddy because he's insulting you before he fucking kills you. Yeah. Here's a pun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love the puns and the jokes and the darkness and it's so twisted. Like, it just shows a level of, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's easy just to be like, Jason, oh, I chopped your head off. But Freddy's like more menacing with it and gets, psychological.
You're gonna get burned and made fun of while you're just getting killed.
But I love that those movies were so like terrifying at the time. But he's just like like he's a fucking clown the whole time.
You're gonna die and get a one-liner at the same time.
Yeah. Exactly. So I always enjoyed that kind of horror.
Yeah. And then wrapping it up, what can you talk about for the future of Ventana for this year and going into the beat of 2026?
So we filmed a new video with Blind 7. Who did, QWERTY and Graveyard du Jour and We Are the Truth and Our Apologies, and they did tons of Mushroomhead videos. They also did the video for our Feast or Famine video, on top of tons of work. Same thing with the photography. He was a photographer for Mushroomhead for years. My photographer in Ventana for like every photo shoot I've done. Did a video with him, and that single's going to drop in April is the plan, and then every other month I'm going to drop a single leading up to November, releasing a full album. And that's the goal from here, is to kind of end the year with new music. And we're on a booking agency now, so we're already working on a follow-up tour in November that's going to hit all the markets we're not hitting here. And then next spring, there's actually an even bigger tour that we're in the mix of working with right now, because I'm just on the mission where I don't got 3 years to sit around and go, well, maybe something will happen. No, I have to like put everything I have on the table and throw all the chips are in. Like, this has to work within 2 years, or else I have to just jump on it. And when I see like tonight, there's all these excited fans and like people that are happy to see it. I know I can find more people out there, like that. Yeah. So the goal is to release new music, keep releasing more content, keep doing videos, and just try to get as much shit as we can out in the next 2 years.
Awesome.
And hope that more people gravitate towards it.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome. Well,
but again, me doing the X Faces thing too will hopefully help catapult more attention again on what I'm doing, because not everyone gets the memo that I have another band. There might be 30 other people in this town that might be a fan that just didn't hear about it because they're not on fucking line every fucking day.
Yeah.
They could be sitting at home going, oh man, I love Stitch. Stitch was cool to me 10 years ago and fucking blah, 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 blah. That would have been here, but don't know how to reach them all.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time, man.
Cool. Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate any outlet to talk my nonsense.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome.
Thank you.